Hello friends, and welcome back to a new episode of the TypeScript Tea Time. I'm your host Mirko and hope you're having an awesome day today. Again, it's episode 2 for the day. Just like yesterday, we're having kind of split into two parts, one in the morning, one in the more evening, afternoon hours. Earlier today we left at the point where we actually see a lot of green in our workflow. And indeed, we have our workflow kind of completed. Whoa, isn't that something? So what we're doing is we have a blog, and whenever a new blog article is published, we want to send emails to our email subscribers, newsletter subscribers, and that's what we've built using AWS step functions, AWS Lambda, AWS SES, simple email service, and AWS SAM, which is a way to, so one at a time. Step function is a way to orchestrate stuff. You build these kind of workflows and you like accumulate and integrate multiple services together, and at the end you have a complete workflow, like business workflow. Lambda is just a way to run JavaScript or Python or Java or some other languages in the cloud. You pass some input and it puts out something. It might also do like write something into a database and so on. In our case, our Lambda functions are actually fairly simple. We use AWS SES, which is an email service. So we manage our contacts, our email lists with it, and we also send emails with it. So down here you see the bulk email sending, and up here you see listing all the contacts. Anything else that I missed? And yeah, then there's SAM, the serverless application model, which is a way to manage or build applications in a very, very like descriptive way. You just say, hey, AWS, give me a state machine, which is the basic object of step functions. So usually when I say a step function, I mean typically a AWS step function state machine. The correct term is state machine. And you have this kind of definition. You use this stuff, you trigger on these events, and so on. Also, we have Lambda functions defined in here together with how they are being compiled and whatnot. This is kind of this is SAM. It also comes with a CLI with which we can build the stuff that we have here. In particular, also build the TypeScript into JavaScript code that can then be deployed with another command into the cloud. And then whatever we have defined here will be represented in AWS, which is very, very nice and very, very comfortable to use. And you could run it in your CI/CD, for example, on every merge into master, to automatically deploy all the stuff that you want. We just do it manually at this point. We don't have a CI/CD, and it's also not necessary for one person project typically. Let's drink some more tea. So that's what we are up to. So what is missing? We can, in fact, already check whether there is a new blog article within the last 24 hours, and then get all the contacts and send them emails. The problem is the emails are actually the wrong emails. We do not have a template yet, an email template yet, that actually says there is a new blog article, please check it out under this URL, here's the title maybe. And that's what I think I'm going to do next, and you actually see that up in the list. I finally updated the to-dos. So we are going to a newsletter. So part of the big project here is the newsletter, and we want to now create an email contact. For that, I think we actually have to do some like HTML and CSS. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to dump it right here and call this new blog article dot email or email template.html. So let's get this started with. We can write regular you can pretty much write regular, what's this called? HTML. For the most part, at least. Some email providers may not completely like support everything. It depends a bit on the providers. The modern ones like Gmail and everything that runs in the cloud, like Office 365, I think 365. I think they pretty much support most stuff, but some things are not supported. Like you cannot, for example, put a form inside of an email. That's just not possible. I don't know. Let's start with an H1. Ha, 1H. It's also new. And then we start, I think, with the article title, which will be written right there. We then have, so we could add some content, but probably that's not what we want. What we can, however, do is something like an anchor. href equals, so let's get the most important information out there to get started at the very least. Where did we actually define all of this? I think it's inside of the transform to send bulk email. Inside of this bulk email args should somewhere, here we go. So we have email, we have article title, and we have link to article. That's the first three that I want to use. So something like this. And what was the other one? The email of the user, right? Yeah. So, there we go. We can maybe start with something like P. Hi. Email. New P. Thank you always for reading our blog. P. We just finished another article that you might be interested in. You can so. And then we need to convert this one into a button. Can we use button inside of button inside HTML? Not table. Sorry, not HTML. Email. Oh, this is Litmus, a way to build all of this fun stuff. What are bulletproof buttons? The bulletproof email button is a call to action button that displays across all inboxes. Okay. Oops. It's written in HTML with no images. The CTA is shown whether the recipient allows images in emails or not. That's very good. That's probably what we need. Just show me how to do it. Oh, why do they have a complete table in here? Seriously? Here's our A. They have it inside of a div. Where's this div? It's up there. Let's start with this dude here. So, style. And we have to pretty much use inline style. Target equals blank, so that it opens in a new browser, and then read the article now, right? So, and then we have inline CSS. Because many email providers don't even support like CSS as a separate file, or even in the header. Oftentimes that's not an option. All right, so we want text transform probably to be, is it capitalized? I think it is, right? So we want probably uppercase, huh? Yeah, uppercase. Uppercase. Can I display this somehow? Do I have anything installed? No, I have not. Let's see whether I find a way to easily display our email template. I'm not good in CSS, so don't expect too much from me. That's not part of the program. Where's the project? Time, where are you? There it is. Okay, so episode 90, text tract, blog, episode 9, Sam, and somewhere inside of here we should have you. Isn't that beautiful? This is the best button that I've ever seen. It is so beautiful. I just can't imagine anything better. Oh no, article image. Stiff. Again, I don't know whether we can actually use button inside of an email, unfortunately. So we want to have padding to be like 10 pixels in every direction. What does that look like? It's getting better. The color is terrible. Why did they choose this kind of color? Do you have a color? Anybody? Throw in a color and it will be the color of the button, except for white and black. We actually want to move this on the button. So this is our button. We have to limit its size. Do we just use like width? Fit content. Yeah, fit content, I think. Better. 16 pixels. Okay. Now, nice color. Nice green colored button with text. I like this one here. So we take gpic. Where's gpic? There it is. gpic being a very, very useful tool. Oh, are these the Spotify colors? Well, now they are our colors. Please don't sue me. Not again. So, padding background color is going to be this without the hashtag. And then the color is going to be this. It's getting there. So now we can radius, I think, border radius. Is border radius? I don't know, 5 pixels? How did border radius CSS work? 30 pixels and so on. Okay, 30 px. Oh, there we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. Now we probably want to div everything so that it becomes... Should we center it? We should center the H1, right? Should we? I don't know. Hit the article now. Then it points to somewhere. Very good. Maybe new article like so. There's a comma missing in here. I suppose that is okay-ish, right? Then we can minify HTML. So that now it's one line. And now we have to find a way to actually create this with the help of SAM. AWS SAM create email template. Not policy templates. Oops. Maybe this one. Finds the AWS resources. So we have a Lambda function here. We have not much else. Auto publish alias. Deployment preferences all at once. Yeah, no, that's not useful for our purposes. They use SES. Sorry, they do use SES, which is good, but they do use serverless framework, which is kind of an alternative to SAM. Where do they use set up the template? They create the template using a post. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. Okay. AWS SAM create general resource. Because we should be able to just deploy pretty much everything, I think. So we have to probably then just write regular CloudFormation stuff, which might be a tad more annoying, but well, there's that. Okay, let's do this. So what do we need? We need an new blog article template, email template. So it is of type, and now it's probably something like this. And with that, we can go inside of CloudFormation and see we need a type and we need properties, and we have a template property inside of there. Property. So if I remember correctly, we can actually just write regular CloudFormation using YAML inside of here, even though we are actually writing SAM templates. It's kind of a superset, if I remember correctly, but I might be wrong. We will see. So it looks something like this in YAML. here. So now the template, the content of the email composed of a subject line, either an HTML part or a text-only part. I think we want actually both. So we have all of these friends here. In YAML, it looks like this, so we can just do this. And it is an object, I think. Let's take the name first. This happened. Take the name first, then the subject part, then the HTML part, and then the text part. So for the name, we take new blog article email or new blog article. That should be fine. For the subject part, we can we like include strings inside of here? Or do we just have to hard code everything here? New article. New article. And then we can say, I think it was article title, right? So for the HTML part, I do use the other quotes. Then we might be able to just do this, which is a meh, but if it works, I guess. That looks okay-ish. So thank you always for reading our blog. We just finished another article that you might be interested in. Another article, article title that you might be interested in. To read the article, copy the following link into your browsers. No, we cannot use this one. Into your browsers. So now we should be able to use these dudes. To your browsers address bar. And if we're lucky, it just works. So inside of our CLI or our console, we say sam build first. Sam validate probably also. Sam validate. Take a sip from our tea. It at least says it's valid. Then we can sam deploy. Hopefully it works. Praise the tea. Yeah. Victoria, praise the tea. My cup is currently empty, but so first of all, let's fill in the holy drink. Praise the tea. And now we pass it from one person to one person. Everybody takes a sip. This is not Corona conform, but we pass Corona now. And you will feel the power. This mate has some peppermint in a fox cup. Oh, a fox cup. I like foxes. Foxes are one of my favorite animals, in fact. They are clever and they are like cats almost. So probably it's mostly because they are similar to cats. And nobody actually knows what the fox says. What does the fox say? Something happened. Did I actually just say yes when it asked me to whether it should deploy? So it did deploy something, which is very good. It also changed the Lambda function. Did we make any changes there? That might have been wrong. Junk app.ts. Oh. Well. Yeah, it's definitely worth to stage from time to time. Peppermint is nice. I bought myself some iced tea earlier today. Haven't. So I will drink it in the afternoon or in the evening hours. It is. Let me get it for you. It is called Le Moment. Can you see something? Le Moment. And it's apple, mint, and that's it. With some honey, apparently. Looking forward to it. And I like the design, this kind of retro style art. That's pretty. But for now, it is the green tea for some more to bring our spirits up high. Praise the tea. So it did deploy something. We may be able to, oh, don't do that, whatever that means. AWS SES v2 list templates. Is that a thing? No. We can use list email templates apparently. So AWS SES v2 list email templates. That's a nice feature from their CLI, from the AWS CLI, that they just show you that doesn't exist, but here's the list of stuff that we have available, and you might have actually, maybe you meant this one. That's very nice. We see new blog article is inside there. Very nice. Why did I call this one email newsletter welcome? I don't know. Because I think I wanted to namespace it. That was deployed like just now, 4 minutes ago. Very good. So it worked. Yay. And with that, we can actually go back into the template and we can reference our friend here. The question is, how do I actually access it? So somewhere we used welcome here, right there. So we can probably do something like .arn right here. And say, because this one is now managed using SAM and CloudFormation, we can get at reboot like this, right? Get at, yeah, that's the syntax. So exclamation mark get attribute ARN should give us access to the ARN of this template, and also up here, for whatever reason, we had to do two very similar API policies. So that helps us. And other than that, I think we have one environment variable where we have to set this. Yeah, here we go. Oh, we also have this dude up here. So we want to use u. Maybe I can actually get rid of the template name and it uses the template ARN. How do we... so what we do in this one is we transform our input into the proper input for send bulk email. So what we can do is look at send bulk email from AWS SES and check whether we actually need both the template ARN and the template name. This one is not required. The name of the template. You will refer to this name when you send email using the send templated email or send bulk templated email operations. The template ARN, the Amazon resource name. But that's not useful. Huh. But none of these are required. Maybe. Bulk email entry? No. AWS. Send bulk email templated email. And here we have as parameters, blah blah blah. Source. Template. There it is, the template ARN. The template is actually required, the ARN is not required apparently. At least according to the documentation. Alright, so in that case, we somehow have to use something like get attribute dot, this one dot, how do we access? So I want to have this value here. I'm fairly sure that I actually can like go from here to there to there to there, but I don't know how. I'm not that familiar with template language. Now we have multiple templates. So I refer to the SAM template language, or the CloudFormation template language, not to the email template language. That one is very, very simple. There is not much to learn. So the simplest one would be to just say, well, take this dude, and then we're done. The question is, how do we make this slightly nicer? Maybe if we go to, let's close all of these dudes here. I don't think we need them anymore. If we go to, CloudFormation, we might be able to find something out, I think. CloudFormation, which is the infrastructure as code service from AWS. We go inside of there, and SAM, in fact, so this template actually gets turned into a CloudFormation stack. Stack just being the basic unit, the basic object inside of CloudFormation. Like a collection of resources that we want to provision. So we have you, my friend. And inside of here, we see all the resources. We should see the template inside of here. We have like its physical ID. Can we take .physical ID? Outputs. Yeah, this is the template that actually gets deployed. And it is very, very similar to what we actually do. Apparently it's even native, huh? Okay. Good to know. How do we get this value? CloudFormation, template language. YAML. We can make like cross references, but I'm never sure how to do those, or I always forget them. Say it like that. Blah blah blah. Are these called intrinsic functions as well? CloudFormation, the YAML intrinsic functions? They are. Well, they kind of are. Get attribute is one of them. The question is, how do we actually see the attribute? Logical name of resource. Shorthand syntax is this. This is what we currently use up here, for example. Not there. Smash mark get attribute. Man, like there, for example. Hey Hector, good to see you again. Welcome back in. Praise the tea. How do we get this frickin' attribute name? The name of the resource specific attribute. So what we probably then need to do, I think I get it. We have to find out the resource specific attribute, which means we need to go to exactly this friend here to see its documentation and what kind of attributes they provide. Maybe properties template get attribute gives us the ID currently not supported. Oh, we can use these as parameters, that's cool. Also nice. Or can we do something like exclamation mark reference? Is this an option? Like exclamation mark reference new block email template dot properties template name. Man, that looks terrible. Just to not write new blog article a second time. Does that work? Sam validate. Fortunately, we can just use Sam validate to actually tell us whether that's okay. It seems to be, I think. Maybe we get an error later. But both both validate and build worked. Deploy, I guess. Let's do it. Why is there this a.out file? Failed. Failed to create, change set, waiter, change set, create, complete, failed, waiter, encountered a terminal failure state. Yeah, this one is not okay. Well, too bad. Let's just duplicate it for now. Because it's not very, very, very interesting to look, to see somebody Google. If you find it somewhere, or if you have an idea of how we can reference. Oh, I have an idea. We can just use parameters. Template name. Or what do we call it? New blog article template name. And then we define the name down up there. And we can reference it in both the other places. It's a bit more code, but I think that should be okay. Exclamation mark ref. And exclamation mark ref, like so. Nice. Sam build. Build first. Something happened. Deploy it. Woo. Failed. Template format error. Every parameter as a member must be an object. How do we use properties? Parameters. You are of type string. And do you have like a value? How do we SAM using parameters? Can you give me like an example? That would be very, very much appreciated. Example. Practical practical guide to surviving SAM. Parameters, env, allowed values, description. Because we have to provide it from the... do we have to provide it like this? That's not what I want. We can provide a default. Okay. So it's not this, it's default. And that should be alright. And then we just exclamation mark ref the name of the parameter, which is what we are doing right there. So SAM build once more, then SAM deploy again, and then we should be alright. Yeah. If you have any question, by the way, feel free to ask anything. If you don't know, what are we doing actually? Well, I can explain again. It's very much appreciated, in fact. I like the interaction. So newsletter SFN role is apparently changing because we did change this part in the state machine. Yeah, so that's correct. And changing the roles, unfortunately, in the step function also means we have to change the step function itself. I don't know why. Oh no. Failed to update, transform to send bulk email function. Why did you even try to update that one? Oh, wait. Oh, it's good that it failed. That didn't work. So apparently it did notice that we did not actually change the name of the template. It, however, did try to redeploy this dude. Do we not have the ARN? Nah. We can do something like... Oh, now this is getting ugly. Get attribute. Where are my intrinsic functions? We have join inside of here. Do we really want to do this? Oh boy. So what I think we can do, this is fine. This one here. Join with a space. Oh no, did I not save? We have to find out the ARN again. Oh man. Did I stage too late? I did. I did indeed. Damn it. So it should be something like this. slash template or slash templates? Slash template, comma, exclamation mark, ref. Man, doesn't that look easy? And here as well. Oh, this is getting ridiculous. This is getting ridiculous. Ridiculous. New blog article template ARN. Join. It is of type string, and the default value, it's actually not a parameter, it's a constant. Like so. And I actually want to use this dude. And now we can use you here, exclamation mark ref, this dude, and exclamation mark ref, this dude. This is complicated. Probably it would be easier to just not write it like this and just inline it and have it in multiple places. If this doesn't work, we just inline it, I would say. So you're good, you need to be exclamation mark ref this dude. Okay. Let's validate. Did we make any mistakes? Any obvious ones, at least? Looking good. Sam build. Can we actually, how does the output look like? What is a.out? It's nothing. Okay, throw it away. Let's look at the template after it has been built. It is still using this kind of stuff. This one has changed, however. This one is using the get attribute more fully. Okay. Then deploy, I guess. Come on, you can do it. Fit. Template format error, every default member must be string. It is a string. Right. Well, that didn't work. So in that case, we just do this slash new blog article. Thank you. GitHub Copilot. Can trust on you. Can totally rely on you. So this dude and that dude. Now, anything else inside of here? Here we have the same. The template name is new blog article. This down here is new blog article. We can throw all of this away. Let's double check whether it's still used somewhere. No, none of these are used. All right. So we're back to square one, kind of. Well, not fully. We still have it deployed after all, so that's something. Deploy. Do the magic thing. Waiting for the change set. So the template should not have changed. What should have changed? Actually, the CloudFormation function, because we now use a different temp. It has different permissions. It has different permissions, and then when the role changes, also the step function itself changes, or state machine itself changes, and thus the Lambda function changes because it has a different environment variable now, right? Yeah, it now has this new blog article right there. That seems to be all right. Let's deploy it. Hopefully this time it works. Bum, 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 bum. Let's lay back for just a moment. Relaxing. The good thing about compiled languages is that you have these couple of seconds, or depending on the language, maybe minutes, that you can just lay back and be like, I'm working. It's compiling. DevOps is kind of in the same space, although everything takes even longer than the compiler today. The compilers kind of got too fast. Particularly when they do only partial updates, then it gets very, very quick. That seems to have worked somewhat. When we now go into our step functions console, we go to a newsletter, we go to edit, we should see that we now use new blog article somewhere. Or maybe we don't. Oh, no. That's not part of the function. It's of the step function of the state machine. We should see, however, that the role has now access to it. Permissions. Cannot read it. Great. And in here we see new blog article, and we see new blog article. Very good. Very good. Nice. That means we can actually, I think, execute it and see whether it works. Do it. Do the execution thing. And off is the set. And all of a sudden everything turns green. But green is good. But my music just stopped working, so let me so quickly fix that. There we go. So now we should have in my email inbox here. There we go. TSTT sent me a new email, new article. Add a headless CMS to Astro in 3 easy steps. Very nice. So I did not write this. the title, we currently fetch everything from dev.to /RSS because I don't want to dox the person who I'm actually building this for. So if you go here to dev.to is a blog for developers. If you haven't seen it, that's the URL. And if you go to /RSS, you actually see this XML, and inside of there, so they regularly publish the newest articles in here. And for example, we have this publication date, we have the title, and we have the creator. And we can pass that, or we do pass that in one of these steps. In fact, in this upper one has a new blog article, which is a Lambda function. And when there is indeed a block within the last 24 hours, then, so if it does have such a block, then we go ahead and send emails. And it did indeed work. And here in my other window, pull you out of so quickly. This is another email from the same, so this is an above, this is Giddy. And this person also has the email. Very nice. So that works. Awesome. It just works, it just works. Very happy. And read the article now. We can indeed jump to the article directly. Very cool. Isn't that awesome? I like it. I like it a lot. Cool. Very nice. Very happy about this. And we have everything inside of SAM now, actually. Well, we did do some duplication. That can't be helped. There's probably a way around this, but very nice. So what now? We kind of did it. Going back to our list here, I can move you over to there. I can, so this is the kind of the parent ticket, implement the email notifications, and I think we're done. We have a scheduler who calls our workflow. Our workflow checks whether there is a new blog article, and if so, sends email to everybody in small chunks of 50 people. We're done. We did it. We did it. What now? Do you feel the emptiness of completing a task? No. It should be happiness in this case. Can we look at the new one? So we only had one iteration because we have a chunk size of 50 emails, 50 email contacts. And yeah, it just worked. It just worked. Very nice. Cool. We done did it. I think that's worth a high five. And some tea. Cheers, everybody. What is this event view? Oh, I see. What's the table view? Oh, I see. Oh, we see even a timeline. This one takes the longest. Oh, very interesting. So we can even see the execution time of our Lambda functions and whatnot. This one ran in like 360 milliseconds. Very nice. Isn't that amazing? It's done. Stuff we can do now. If you haven't had enough, we can add IDs to users. So one thing that I've noticed, unsubscribe. One thing that I've noticed, our unsubscribe endpoint actually uses the plain text email to unsubscribe. That's one thing that we probably want to put in the email as well. To unsubscribe, copy the following link, and there's a typo link. Use the following link, and then we can put in here it's just a static link in this case, right? No, it's not. Never mind. It is something with /email at this point. And the email is I think we have to go to API gateway. So what I'm doing next is unsubscribe link in email template. That's what I'm going to do. So in the API gateway, we go to our API, we take this email like so, we do /unsubscribe, I think. Subscribe routes /unsubscribe, yeah, exactly. And then question mark email equals email. And the browser should take care of encoding it, I hope. But I'm not 100% sure, in fact. So up here, we can also do something like to unsubscribe, use the following link. HTTP to unsubscribe, click here. href equals this / and I think I want to have the here like so /a. Oh, I think you typically write it like this, right? Click here to unsubscribe. Full stop. Does that look right? Yeah. We want this one to be like as invisible as possible in reality. And that should be about it. Let's do the SAM build once more. And then SAM deploy again. So everything gets pushed into the cloud. And I think then we have to restart the workflow once more. So the email template actually changed, which is exactly what happened. Everything else stayed the same. So that should be, I think, fairly quick, I guess. Update in progress, update done. Very nice. Very nice. Now, going back to the functions. Opening our newsletter daily workflow, we create a new execution and it has no input whatsoever, so nothing to do there. And then in just a millisecond, green. Very good. And we should see, so let me delete this dude. And we should see an email in our inbox in a couple of seconds. Yeah. Do you care about coding standards? Is the new article that they have on. Oh, there's a space missing. There's no space missing. Why is there no space? Well, click here to unsubscribe. Let's do it. So we should be able to see, if I go AWS SESV2, list contacts of this email newsletter contact list, which is a way to manage contacts, email lists. We see in the above 6368 inside of here. Very good. And if I click this link now, open the link, bad request. Oh, what happened? What happened? Our unsubscribe seems to be not as great as we hoped it would be. How does our unsubscribe look like? Go to unsubscribe. We have like test. Ah, we did it like this. Okay, so the email template is actually wrong. It needs to be looking like this. Input equals, and then we have email colon email closing brackets. I hope the template language can handle this. I'm not actually 100% sure. So from there to there. You're not happy, unexpected. Turning back into these ones. And then we can escape view. How do we escape in YAML? Escape single quote. In single quoted strings, the single quoted character can be escaped by prefixing it with another single quote. Okay. What? Ah, fuck it. Do it like this, and then just we write browsers without the tick. That should be alright. Alright, here we go. Sam build again and Sam deploy once more. And then we double check once more. Testing email sending is always very annoying because you actually have to send emails to check whether everything works. Yes, looks alright. It's only the email template that is being modified. So that worked. Go back to our Lambda function and we do a new execution and we say yes, and then we wait for a couple of seconds again. And hopefully this time we see the right thing. So we can delete this email. Yeah. So that seemed to have worked. There's our new email. And we have a new link inside of there. That's also not right. Oh, because I'm ending the href string here, huh? Actually, what I need to do is URL encode online. And also, actually, so these two characters here, encode them, please. Okay. So everything where we write this character, we do %7b. Down here we do %7b. We probably do %78 or 7d. Why did I think 8? Oh, wrong one. Oops. To escape this dude here, the closing bracket, and then we need a double quote, which is %22, which becomes you and you and you and you as well, like so. And this last one actually closes the href. And down here we do the same, like so. And now we deploy once more, and then we hopefully have everything alright. Darn escaping. Deploy, yes, I want to deploy. How are you feeling today, everybody? Work in Europe, work is kind of getting towards its end. At least in the, well, actually in the whole of Europe, right? Even in the UK, it's like 15:30 now, 15:40. So we're getting closer to the end of the day. Throw that one away. Go to the workflow, do a new execution. Still have the same email. And then we just wait again. Let's do a quick stretch. And the positions from time to time, very important as a developer. Stay healthy. There we go. Oh, it already worked. Well, let's do a quick stretch anyway. So, slightly shifting to the left side. And shifting to the right side. And stretching your flank, kind of. Alright. Now it's good. Now it's good. It's gotta be. Why did it download something? That's not okay. What is this? Why did it download something? What kind of virus did I... Hey, it worked, however. Why did it download it? That doesn't make any sense. So this is the response from the HTTP request, from the GET request. But why did it download it? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, we probably want to replace this HTTP, the JSON response, with like an HTTP that just says, thank you, it worked. You are now unsubscribed. So that's weird. Let's write that on the following. The unsub link downloads the JSON response. That should be fixed. That should be looked at. But other than that, we can list our contacts once more. And we see we are unsubscribed. It worked. Swedish. And I mean sweet by that. Very nice. Cool. I'm happy. Why did it download? That doesn't make much sense. If I just click here, it... It should probably be target blank, huh? Does that change anything? If I go in here and I say, well, href, my friend, I want to edit you, damn it. We say target equals subscript blank, which should mean it's opening it in a new browser. If I do that and I click on it, it's still downloading it. Why? It didn't do it yesterday. If I just copy and paste the link here, like straight. Come on, you can do it. Still downloading it. Why? Get request. Triggers. Download. It's probably something with the content type. We do not want to download. We probably have to say something like, well, the content type is application/JSON or something. And we probably don't do that just now. That's what I'm guessing. Because of that, we actually see weird stuff. I'll take a quick break, however. I think we can fix this in an okay-ish way. That wasn't good. Wasn't supposed to show, but everything is alright. Fortunately, there was nothing important. But other than that, it works, and I'm very, very happy that it does. Throw you away. I still have it here in the... Yeah, so I'll be right back in a couple of minutes. See you then. Stay tuned. Right, back we are. And so we were stuck at the point. No, actually we're not kind of, well, we're kind of stuck. We're somewhat stuck. So this should be all right. We had target blank right there in the URL. Yeah, in the anchor tag for our email, and that should be goodish. So here comes the part where it gets slightly more complicated. So the other time we used the CLI to deploy the API gateway that we're using. And I think we have to provide a response for the API gateway. So maybe we go here and somewhere over the ocean we should be able to see, come on, give me the Chrome window. I want to go to API gateway, and I think it's version 2 that I want you to look at. Yeah, there's a version 2. So this is the documentation for AWS CLI. And we can create integration response inside of here. So inside of this list, create integration response, creates an integration response. Here is the API documentation, integration response. Okay, can you explain me what an integration response is? Whether it is the thing that we actually think it is. What I think it is, you can basically predefine what an API should return. Where do I get this in Chinese? So set up an integration response in API. For a non-proxy integration, you must set up at least one integration response and make it the default response. To pass the result, return from the backend to the client. Okay. Not quite what we want. You can choose to pass through the result as is or to transform the integration response data to the method response data if the two have different formats. For a proxy integration, API gateway automatically passes the backend output to the client. You do not set either an integration response or a method response. I want to kind of just return a static okay to the front end. How do I do that? How do I do that? Because so currently the output looks something like what the user will see is something like execution ARN, and then it's just some ARN AWS US East 1, I don't know, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 state machines or states colon state machines colon newsletter blah block, which is not something that we want to show to the client. So what I hope is that there is some way that we kind of can override the API response by something static. API gateway, AWS API gateway, override backend response. Overriding request response parameters and response status in API gateway. response body template. We can definitely set some headers. It seems. With the new override feature of Amazon API Gateway, you can set the required status and parameters, mapping and handling these kinds of situations. Sounds good. Using these context variables, you can create a new header or override an existing header, override the response code to a success or failure response based on the content of the body, conditionally remap a parameter based on its content or the content of some other parameter, iterate over the contents of a JSON body, and remap key value pairs to headers or query strings. I just want to give a basic static response, in fact. So they do use integration responses in this case. Request override. Want to override the complete thing. I want to override the complete thing, damn it. Because step functions just gives me a kind of terrible response. So the worst case is we have to put another Lambda function in between. The HTTP, the API gateway calls a Lambda function. The Lambda function triggers step functions and just lets it do its thing, and also tells the returns a. Does it have to be a JSON? It can be an HTML, right? I think it can, yeah. And then returns the HTML to the front end, which just says something like, it worked. You're now unsubscribed. That's what I want to do, essentially. But I don't want to add the additional Lambda function in between. Isn't there a way to do that with step functions? And without actually waiting, letting the client wait. Putting following code into the template area. They override some headers here. What does this $input.json dollar mean? Headers. Again, only the headers. There doesn't seem to be a simple way to do that. Response templates. What are these response templates? API gateway. Response template. What are these guys? Specifies mapping templates for response payload of the specified MIME type. I don't know whether that's possible with just API gateway. I think we have to do the workaround with the Lambda function in between, which is pretty annoying. Oh, wait. This doesn't look too terrible. Response template. Specifies a mapping template to transform the integration response body to the method response body for a given MIME type. Application JSON, response templates, application JSON, application slash XML. What is this syntax? Probably something like Nginx or something. So when the backend returns the query results shown in the modeled section, suppose something like this, the manager of the produce department might be interested in reading them as follows. To enable this, we need to provide API gateway with a mapping template to translate the data from the backend format. Okay, so modeled section is apparently something different. It comes in this format, and we want to transform it into this format, which is just the choices. And also like apples, bananas, and so on. Some variables picked out of there. To do that, we need to provide API gateway with a mapping template to translate the data from the backend format. Full stop. the following mapping template does that. We set input root is input.path $. Then we write the JSON. JSON, it has a choices value, and then we open an array, and there we write something like for each with this template language and map each value. Isn't that pretty much what we want? But instead we just write something like, hey, it worked. But the content type is different, right? Well, we can override the response headers as well now, right? Can we? Yeah. So this one can override its headers as well as the response. Let's try that. I will go to API gateway. Getting cold in here. Going to API gateway. Go to, let's say, just newsletter. Well, maybe we can even do it like this. This one integrates apparently with the Lambda function. We can manage. Then we can parameter request and response mapping. We can create a response based on status code. Integration responses that match this status code will have the parameter mapping applied. For example, everything that responds with a 200, we add a mapping. We can change the headers. Where do we change the response template? Where do we set a response template? Where do we set a response template? Where do we create these? So we can definitely override something like content type with a value of static value. What is actually the response type of just a regular GET request? I actually have no idea. See, when Google responds with an HTML, where's the HTML file? Content. Oh. HTML response content type. XML. HTML. Text/HTML. Okay, very good. So I'll set UTF-8. So we can do static value apparently. This one. Add another one. In here I cannot really change the value. Where do they set these response templates? This stuff here. Where do they do that? Doc models mappings. Working with models and mapping templates. Velocity template language. Okay, that's apparently the template language. So, how to create a model? How do I create a model? Use a mapping template. Mapping templates overrides cannot be used with proxy integration templates which lack data mappings. Damn it. That's not great. So this does not provide us anything. We can configure the configuration, but this one doesn't provide us with anything in that direction either. So that's a bummer. How do we change the... down here, okay. I want to delete you, my friend. Yeah. Delete you. Yes, go ahead. Policy. Yeah, it doesn't seem that we can actually provide anything like that. So I gotta do some research on that one, I think. For now, I think we've reached our goal. We can unsubscribe, which is like the last goal. We have our complete sending and check whether we should send a new blog article. We have the template. We can see it not here, but over here. Once again, this is how it looks like. And when we click this button, we are actually redirected to a new page. And when I click on this unsubscribe, I am being unsubscribed, although it starts the download, which is a bit weird, but at least the user is unsubscribed. I've often seen, so whenever you unsubscribe from something, those unsubscribe pages are typically not very, very pretty, which is an interesting fact. Yeah, there might be another way to do it. Our attempt to basically fix the response from API Gateway didn't work quite as we'd hoped. Currently we get a JSON, which basically says that, well, this step function was invoked, which is not very nice for the user. What we want is something like, thank you for reading our blog. It said to see you go, maybe click here to subscribe again if this was a mistake or something like that. But for now, I have to do some research, I think. Maybe I find something. Worst case is we put in a Lambda function in between, which is kind of ugly, but yeah. All right. With that, I thank you so much for joining me here in the TypeScript Tea Time. I'm your host, Mirko. And yeah, it was a pleasure to have you here. Hope to see you next time. If you've liked what you've seen, feel free to follow. Also, you can find me on these socials. So Twitter, one link to rule them all, and GitHub. And with that, I say goodbye, everybody. See ya. Till next time, which is tomorrow, by the way. Probably. I might be late. I'm not sure yet, because I do have some stuff to do. All right then. See you.